So guys, now I have the excess trimmed off around my cap and I've given this a good press. So the next step is to start pleating the cap, which is the most important part of this tutorial. In pleating my Sutana cap, I can start from any point I like because I have this on a round shape. So let's assume this point is going to be my starting point, so which is here. Then I will be holding my fabrics like so, and I will make this overlap on the starting point. Then I will confirm the measurement I have for the pleat. It must be up to half of an inch because I want my pleats wideness to be half of an inch. So if you don't want just to be up to half of an inch, so you can reduce this to whatever measurement you like. But if you want this to look very beautiful, the least you can use is half of an inch. You can use half of an inch or 0.75 or 1 inch. So I used half of an inch, so I folded my cap like so, and it stops exactly on the starting point line. Then I secure this with my sewing pin. Sorry guys for interrupting this video. In case you would love to learn how to make a standing Sutana cap for an adult just like this, plus other insightful celestial garment tutorials, kindly check the link below this video for the playlist on my other channel. So from the point where the first pleat stops, then I will mark out a distance of 0.25. So this also depends on you. If your cap is not that much wide, or if you know after pleating this you will not have up to the head circumference measurement you are working with, then you can increase your distance to 0.75 or 1 inch. So I use 0.25 because this is for a kid and the pleats must not be too wide. By the time you finish pleating your cap, the distance you have and your pleat wideness will be together, and the two will be like just a single pleat. So I made this 0.25. Then from the 0.25 points I will make another pleat, and this pleat is going to stop on the 0.25 I marked out. Then I'm pinning this as well. So from the point where this pleat stops as well, I will continue measuring my 0.25 distance. So 0.25, which is here. Then I will make another pleat and it will stop exactly on the marked point. So from where this stops as well, I will mark 0.25 forward. So this is how I continue pleating my cap until I exhausted the whole of the fabrics. So after pleating the whole cap, then I will have it like so. So guys, after you are done pleating your cap, then you secure them with your sewing pins. Then you will need to take this to your sewing machine. Then you are going to be stitching on the edges of the cap in order to secure your pleat. You can see that this part is not separated purposely because I've stitched all the edges all around. So I have only this part left, which I will be stitching, after which I will be back to show you the next step. So guys, now I have this stitched all around, as you can see. So the next step is to confirm the measurement I have all around my Sutana cap, and I will compare this with the head circumference measurement of the wearer. When you are making a Sutana cap, the most important part of it is the head circumference measurement of the wearer. So it is necessary you confirm your measurement before attaching the Sutana band. So I will start taking this measurement all around. So here I have 22.5 inches, and the edge circumference measurement of the wearer is 20 inches. So that is not an issue. So it is better you have more, most especially if you are making this for a kid. And don't forget, this cap is for a kid. So it is better you have more so that the child will not outgrow the cap faster. So for this I have 22.5 inches. So after attaching the band, the elastic rope will do justice to the extra inches. So guys, the next step is to give this a very good press. This part is very important. So this is what will bring out the shape of your cap properly, neatly and beautifully. So you will position your cap like so, and you will make sure all sides are equal. Make sure one side is not longer than the other. So you must make sure all the sides you have around your cap are equal. Then you will be giving this a press one after the other, all these pleats one after the other. I will lay this flat and press. After pressing this, I will go to the next one. I will lay it flat and I will adjust the pleats properly. I will give it a press and I will make sure all sides are equal. Now I have all my pleats being pressed properly, as you can see. So the next step is to cut out the cap band. So here is the cap band I cut out. This is the width and this is the height. So the height is the same thing as the length. The measurement I used in cutting out the band height is 5 inches. The 5 inches is together with the seam allowance. Seam allowance of 1 inch. Half of an inch at the upper part of the band and half of an inch at the lower part. And for the wideness of the band, I use the measurements I have on the Sutana cap in cutting this out. So the measurements I have here is 22.5 inches and I added extra 1 inch. So that makes the wideness 23.5 inches. I added 1 inch because I will be needing half of an inch here and half of an inch here. So by the time I close the two edges together, I will be having 1 inch of seam allowance. So in cutting this out, that is the measurement. Don't forget, make sure you use the measurement you have on the cap because the two are going together. Don't use the measurements you have for the edge circumference measurement. The edge circumference measurement you have might not be the same as what you have on the cap. It can be more than it, but cannot be lesser than the measurements. So you have to use this and this are going together, then you will add extra 1 inch. So after cutting it out, I fused this on the wrong side with a light fusible interfacing, the same interfacing I used in fusing the cap. I fused the whole of the band, then I folded this into half and I ironed out the edges. Okay, so that was how I arrived at this. So after having this done, the next step is to attach the Sutana cap and the band together. Now in attaching the band to my Sutana cap, I will be opening up my band like so. Then I will be folding this in an opposite direction. So this is the way I folded earlier. I will open it up and I will fold in an opposite direction. Right side facing the right side. Then I will be stitching with half of an inch of seam allowance I added. So I will not stitch this yet. So this is just a clue so that you will not have any issue in attaching your band. So you can just mark out the point, then pin the edges together with your sewing pins. So while you are doing this, make sure the center points meet properly, which is the ironed point. So the part I pressed out, so I will make sure the two points meet properly and I will pin them together. Okay, so I will leave the edges pinned like so. I will not stitch yet. Then I will be joining this together with the cap. So the positioning is the right side of the band facing the wrong side of my cap. So the part you are seeing is the right side of my cap while the inside is the wrong side. So the right side of my band facing the wrong side of my cap, like so. Then I will pin the edges together all round. So when I'm about getting to the pin point, I will stop on this side and I will move to the other side. So on this side as well, when I'm about getting to the pinned point, which is these edges, I will stop. Now I will be taking this to my sewing machine and I will be stitching with 1/2 inch of seam allowance all around the pinned areas. Now I have the band and the cap stitched together. Then when I get to this point, which is the part I pinned on the band, I did not stitch close to the edges. You can see I left this part opened because I've not closed the opening I have on the band. So this has to be closed first before closing this side. So now I will be taking this to my sewing machine. Then I will be closing the opening I have on the cap band. Okay, and before closing the opening, I will check what I have here, which is the space I have left here. So I will place this on the point, then I will mark this area. So this is where the closing of the band will start. So I will mark out the point. Then I will hold the point together with my sewing pin. So after closing the opening I have on the band, then I will close the remaining space I have on the cap, like so. So I will stitch this straight, closing the opening I have on the band. This is the opening I have on the band, as you can see. So I'll hold it together like so, and whatever I have left from the mark point to the edges of the opening is what I will be using all the way down to the other side of the band. So I will stitch this like so. So after stitching, then I will hold the remaining space I have on the cap, which I have not attached together with the band. Then I will close this part. Guys, now I have the band opening closed, and I also close the opening I have on the cap. So the next step is to finish the edges of the cap. In doing this, I will be folding my band like so. And on the band edges, I have 1/2 inch of seam allowance left, so which I will be folding inward in order to finish the edges. So I will fold in my 1/2 inch like so. And I will overlap it on the cap. While pinning the other edges of the cap, make sure the shape you iron out on the cap opening did not deform. So for this reason, I will be holding the edges with my sewing pins all around. Now I'm done with the pinning of the edges in order to maintain the shape I have on the cap opening, so I can proceed in pinning the remaining parts of the cap. Now I have the edges pinned all around, as you can see. So the next step is to take this to my sewing machine, and I will be stitching the edges all around. So when you are doing this, make sure you stitch neatly because the seam is going to be showing on the right side of the cap. So guys, this is the final outlook of our female child standing Sutana cap. You can add to the cap height measurement in case you want your cap higher than this. So this is how far we can go on this tutorial. In case of any question or inquiries, kindly drop them at the comment section as I will be available to attend to them all. Let's meet in my next video where I will be sharing another insightful tutorial with you. Till then, keep watching, keep learning.